Hello, my name is Jason Howard, and I am the Director of Enrollment Services at Ohio University Zanesville. And I want to thank you for your interest in the College Credit Plus program here at Ohio University Zanesville. I'm going to spend the next few minutes covering some basic information about the program here on the Zanesville campus, talk about some of the benefits, the risks, the pros, the cons, and then we will talk about the admissions process as well. So I want to begin our discussion today by sharing some of what I believe to be the great benefits of participation in the College Credit Plus program. And right at the top of the list is the ability to begin earning college credit while at the same time completing high school graduation requirements. The ability to essentially double dip. You can take a college algebra class, for example, while also fulfilling a high school graduation requirement is certainly one of the top benefits of the program. It's the ability to begin to challenge yourself academically. We all hear stories about how much more difficult college is than high school, and certainly the chance to dip your toes into the water, even if it's just to take a class or two to start to understand what it takes to be successful in college while still in high school is a great chance for students to build some confidence in their ability to be successful. It gives you a chance to begin to explore a potential college major. A lot of students out there have very definitive ideas on what they want to do when they go to college. So it's the chance to begin to take some of those introductory level courses and maybe feel very confident in the decision that they make. And for many who don't know what they want to do, you can begin to take classes in a variety of disciplines and find out what you like, what you don't like, where are your strengths, where are your interests, and all doing it, prior to enrolling as a degree seeking student. And then also the potential to possibly decrease time towards graduation from college by taking courses that can count and help to fulfill some of those college graduation requirements. And you'll see that I put potentially in all caps because there's a lot that goes into it. There are a number of factors in terms of the courses you select, your performance in those courses, what your future major is going to be, where you go to college, and how they accept the classes that you take. And a lot of these things, through careful thought and research, we can get answers to while you're in the program, but there are a lot of questions that need to be answered, but definitely is something that students are able to do. Certainly with the benefits come risks to participation, and we certainly don't want to hide from those. And one of the first is that you are beginning to establish a permanent college record, a permanent college transcript. And while that can be good, if you perform well, there's also a risk involved if you were to struggle. These are transcripts that you'll have to submit when you apply to college. They're transcripts that you would have to submit down the road if applying to medical school or graduate school or other types of things. So this permanent record, it begins with enrollment in College Credit Plus. Earning poor grades can certainly have an impact on your eligibility for admission as a degree seeking student, certainly at Ohio University if you were not to perform well, but also at other schools. And so doing well can help aid in that process, can help make you a stronger candidate for admission as a degree seeking student. But if you do poorly, it can be a detriment. Students who fail or withdraw from classes after a certain date may find themselves financially liable for the costs associated with courses. So certainly that's something that you need to be mindful of and aware of. And then the idea that, college classes, they're designed for mature audiences, and, college classes are filled with adults, and sometimes adult subjects can come up, and, depending upon the maturity and the age of a student in the program, is it anything that we see as a problem? No, it's not, but it is something that should at least be mindful of. And then also the potential impact on future financial aid eligibility. And what that really relates to is, federal guidelines with the FAFSA say that students who apply for financial aid are eligible to receive aid for only a certain amount of time, a designated amount of time. And in pursuing a 4-year degree or a bachelor's degree, At most institutions, that's going to be 120 credit hours. And so the federal government says that students are eligible to receive financial aid for up to 180 hours. So they give you some leeway there. But courses you take as a College Credit Plus student do count towards that 180. So that's not a bad thing necessarily, especially if these are courses that are chosen carefully that we know are going to help aid in degree progress. But if you're taking classes just to take them, or you're not being careful or intentional about those courses, it could end up having an impact down the road. And so it's just something we want to be mindful of and be careful of. So trying to decide whether or not College Credit Plus is right for you. Number of things you need to take into account. First, what are your study habits? You know, one of the things that we know for students who come into the college environment for the first time out of high school is most likely your study habits probably aren't where they need to be yet. But that's something that can be fixed. And so do you have a good foundation though now when it comes to your study habits? Do you possess the time management skills, and are you willing to adapt and adjust to the difficulty and the challenge of college level coursework? Are you involved in extracurricular activities? You know, are you in sports, band, drama, cheerleading? Are you involved in your church? Do you have a job? What other commitments do you have outside of the academic environment that you need to take into consideration as you try to balance your time and manage your time? Are you willing to put in the work and prioritize your college courses and do what it takes to be successful? There's a formula that many of you have probably heard before related to study time. And that formula is for every hour that you spend in class as a college student, you should spend 2 to 3 hours outside of class per week studying. So if you're taking, 4 classes as a College Credit Plus student, which would typically be 12 credit hours, that's kind of that minimum full-time threshold. That's going to mean you're in class for only about 12 hours a week. And so a lot of people hear that initially and they think, oh, wow, this is great. I'll have all this extra time. Maybe, if you're in class for 12 hours a week, though, that means you should probably be studying for 24 to 36 hours a week outside of the class. So all of a sudden you start to do the math on that and you realize the commitment that's involved. And so it's just something that you have to be thinking to yourself, yes, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this challenge, and I'm willing to put in the time that it takes to be successful. Some things to think about in preparing to do the College Credit Plus program. So you've decided, yes, this is right for me. So what should you be thinking about coming into it? Well, the first thing I ask a lot of my students is, well, what are your plans after high school? Do you know where you want to go to college? Do you know what you want to study when you get there? Graduation requirements at colleges and universities around the country are different. What Ohio University would require a student to do to graduate is not the same as other institutions. So the more you know about your future plans, where you want to go to school, what you want to study, the better we're able to establish a plan in terms of the courses you're taking. We're able to provide you with resources and questions to ask if it's reaching out to another institution to find out about what their expectations are. The goal in all of this is to try to maximize your time as a College Credit Plus student and get as much out of it as we can. And so being able to answer some of these questions is always extremely helpful, and something that I ask my students each and every semester. In terms of applying for the program, obviously the first thing you need to do is make sure that you attend your high school's College Credit Plus night and complete the intent to participate form. Certainly working with your school counselor on a regular basis is very important. But in terms of Ohio University Zanesville, you can apply for the program by visiting our website, which we have up there. It's ohio.edu/Zanesville. Click the Future Students link in the upper left-hand corner of the webpage, and you'll be able to select College Credit Plus. From there, we have a whole lot of information about the program, including links to the application, our admissions requirements, everything that you're going to need. Our deadline for consideration for the fall of 2021, as you'll see there, is May 1st of 2021. So it's important that you get started on the process. So if there are tests you need to take, whether it's the ACT, the AccuPlacer, submitting transcripts, we can get all of those things done by that deadline to put you in position for orientation and advising during the summer. If you have questions about the program, you can contact me directly. You can email me at howardj2@ohio.edu. You can also send general inquiries to our student services email account at ouzservices@ohio.edu, or contact our offices 740-588-1439. We can answer your questions over the phone if you would like to potentially even schedule a discussion to talk more about the program. We'd be happy to do that. So I hope that you found the information over the last few minutes helpful, and we look forward to potentially welcoming you to Ohio University Zanesville as a College Credit Plus student in the future. Thank you very much.